This is the great and powerful Trixie, and you're here at the great and powerful Brony Clubhouse. Watch in awe.
Hey there, everybody. Thank you for joining us once again. My name is Spencer.
And I'm Sessa, and you're watching the Brony Clubhouse.
Now today, the Clubhouse would like to share their thoughts on Season 3 of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic.
I also got a chance to sit down with Karen Padilla, the con-chair of Equestria LA, but first, here's My Little Pony history with Cayci.
Hi, I'm Cayci, and welcome to Part 2 of My Little Pony history on Princess Ponies. In the G2 line, all of the Princess Ponies were European releases, including, in 1999, Princess Morning Glory. She was a princessized version of a previously released G2. Now, they offered no explanation on whether it was the same character who was coronated as a princess, so I can't tell you if it was the same situation as Twilight Sparkle. That same set included one of my favorites, Princess Crystal. She came with a fun crystal ball and a cute little wizard hat. Now, I bought this one in Salzburg, Austria, and this one in Paris, France, because I just thought it was cool to have My Little Pony in different languages on the packages. The next year, we had the re-release of Princess Silver Swirl with her baby, Princess Swirly. Now, the idea on this is that when the baby nuzzles up to this little button on her mommy, her horn lights up. Aw. In 2001, we had yet more princess ponies with Princess Sapphire, who also came with Princess Fuchsia. Now, the G2 line couldn't quite get enough of royalty in that they also had lady ponies and Her Majesty ponies and even a prince pony. The G3 line, however, had a collaboration between Hasbro and Disney in that there were princess ponies you could buy at the Disney theme park in Florida in Disney World, including Minty as Ariel, Sparkleworks as Aurora, Kimono as Belle, and Pinkie Pie as Cinderella. By 2006, the theme for the year was Crystal Princess. And now I'm going to read from the back of G3 Rarities box to give you an idea of what Hasbro was going for there. A royal celebration is in order because the ponies have discovered that they are all real princesses. The fairy tale has come true for everyone. Now, Hasbro, I feel the need to point out that if everyone is a princess, then no one is special. Just saying. Now, the plot of Princess Promenade involved Spike, voiced by Brian Drummond, turning Wisteria, voiced by Tabitha St. Germain, into a princess, and then she felt bad, so she made everyone into princesses. Really, I can't roll my eyes enough at that one. The plot of The Runaway Rainbow involved that same G3 rarity you just saw being groomed to be the Rainbow Princess. So really, 2006 to 2007 was all princesses all the time. Now can you see why I think that having only 4 G4 princesses is a massive show of restraint on Hasbro's part? This has been My Little Pony history for the Brony Clubhouse.
Hey there, everybody. Thank you for joining us today for our first season in review, where we'll be talking about our favorite moments and our not-so-favorite moments of the entire season of My Little Pony. Now, this one is for Season 3. With us today, we have Karen, we have Justin, we have Kevin, we have Tyler, and Cayci. Now, who wants to start us off?
Oh, I will.
Go for it.
I'll say that I think the music this season was a highlight for me. There were some fantastic songs, and while Raisin Barn, Racist Barn, whatever you want to call it. It's not particularly my favorite style of music, but dang, does that thing get stuck in my head all the time.
Backseat.
Or that one too. So props to Daniel Ingram for his work this season. That was definitely a highlight for me. On the negative, I cannot appreciate the character development or lack thereof for Spike. He was just all over the map. I have no idea what's going on there. That was really a serious detriment for me.
Yeah, I liked kind of the parts when he was trying to be the gentleman thing during Spike at Your Service. I think I'm one of the few people who doesn't hate that episode. But I totally agree that he was all over the place. Like Spencer said it during our review, it was just like, you know, he turned into a bumbling fool. And it was really out of nowhere. And that was really weird for Spike.
It would have been a really great season if it wasn't for that.
Well, like, personally, I didn't understand how like he could be like a total like moron with Applejack, but then he's like perfect with Twilight. I did not understand that at all. Like you see him doing housework with Twilight all the time, and you know, then all of a sudden Applejack like, oh god, new person. What? No, I'm not buying it.
Then he's expected to bake a cake. Like what?
I'm pretty sure like has
And
he
then
done that before?
in later seasons, he's planning on baking a cake, the jewel cake, right? In that season, or that he never got to make it though.
But he thought he could.
He made batter though, which is something. It's like it's better than putting a mop on the ceiling.
It wasn't all over the place. If I something to say about the music though, one downside overall about the music is there just was not enough of it. Personally, it was like
the last episode.
Two. Yeah, exactly. There were I think 2 songs in season 3.
I don't
And
remember
then-
exactly what it is. I just
what, there were
looked
more?
at
There was the opener had what, 2 songs?
it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, the opener had 3 songs because one of them was like the reprise of the original song.
And the Bab Seed.
Babseed, and then
Raisin Barn.
Raisin Barn.
Raise this
It's
bar.
Raise This Barn. And then there was just a sparse nothing for a long time. And then finally, bam, 7 songs out of nowhere, which is great. I loved those songs. It was, you know, maybe they were trying to save the best for last for the last episode.
Succeeded with that. Yeah.
Well, they did a great
were
job
so
on those
many good
songs. So,
songs.
I mean, I think overall the music was great for season 3. There were still plenty of songs, but maybe spread out a little more would have been better.
But Applejack got her song.
Applejack did get
Highlight.
that song. Yeah, that was good.
Finally got to one.
Well, a lot of people got like their own songs because there's Celestia and then there's and Applejack. So you know, main characters, and I guess I call Celestia main character because I like her, but
I think she
they
is.
got
I
their
think she
songs,
is.
and I really enjoyed that. She is the best princess. I've been waiting forever for her to sing.
And Spike sang.
And Spike
first
sang. You're
time.
right.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, that was cool.
He sang
Like
words.
in the opening too. So yeah.
Yeah, I was going to touch on that. Is that speaking of the music, it was really fun that there was a lot of firsts when it came to singing. We had Spike in the first episode. We had Applejack during the Apple Family reunion. And then we had Celestia in the season finale. That was a really big, like, oh wow, that's amazing. I love that more people are getting singing roles in this one. I'm waiting for the Big Mac solo. If that ever happens.
That has to happen now.
No, Big Mac's gonna have like that one dubstep song. He's just gonna be like, "Yep."
Ladies and gentlemen, DJ GARNiKA.
Another thing I want to touch on is I feel like the animation really like stepped up their game with
Yes.
this season. Like that was what I personally noticed. I was just like, "Oh, that hair flipped up," and just like, yeah. And then I kept seeing that all the way through the season, and I was just like, "Yeah, yo."
There was a lot of varied visual elements this season.
Yeah.
So
Like
I thought,
bringing in
they
the
were trying little
CGI.
different things.
Like with the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Including
3D.
the 3D is a very
Yeah,
different direction.
The 3D element into a 2D environment,
Yeah.
which is really
And
it
another
works
one
surprisingly.
is the hallway from the last episode. Like this
Yes.
another-
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
Putting 2D in a 3D element.
Twilight Zone.
Twilight.
Yes.
Well, I
Putting
think
a
they're
2D
getting
element
more
into the
ambitious. Like I
environment.
think the storyboarders are storyboarding things that they think that the animators are going to be able to really kind of push the envelope visually with.
Yeah.
So
Another thing with the
Definitely cool.
animation is like it's more of like a. Well, if it was live action, it would be a filming technique. But kind of the blur, like in the last episode, there's one part where Spike is talking to Twilight, and like they blur him in the background and they switch it or something like
oh, they
that.
change focus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
the
focus
focus.
is the word I was looking for. Is the focus. Like I like that focus. Every time I photobomb Spencer, I'm a little out of focus in the background.
And it happens quite frequently.
It's the out of focus that kills me every time. But yeah, that's one thing I really liked as far as the animation.
Yeah, and speaking of the animation, what I really noticed that they seem to like to make more of a cinematic feel when they're doing the songs. Like I noticed that a lot in the season finale, where the sad Twilight song with the piano that you really like.
I love that so
Yeah,
much.
that one
I'm a sucker for piano.
like
What
if
can
you
I say?
if you start that song and then you end the song. That animation right there in general was like, way, like, I have no idea what they tried to do there, but it was so much more cinematic rather than like the rest of the show seems. You know, they added certain elements to it that just, I don't know, like if you took that out, you know, of itself, or that just that segment out, it would feel like it was, you know, a whole different set of animators maybe, or a whole, you know, just another perspective on it. It was so different than what we've seen in the show that it was a really cool and new spin on the animation style that they've been doing. And I thought, I don't know, I give them props for that. I really liked where they went with those. I think it was multiple songs too, but I really noticed it on the Sad Twilight song.
Yeah, just high marks to the animation for this season, because as with any cartoon or any new series of the sort, they're always going to try to play it safe the first time around. As I think you touched on that, they're always trying to play it safe. But as they're getting the attention, people are receiving it very well. They're going, we got to try something new. Let's take some bold risks. And it's working. And so, in a sense, I'm really excited to see how far they can push the envelope for season 4. You know, whether it's introducing a lot of new characters, or developing a character's personality in a whole new direction, and the animation will reflect on that too. You know, and a lot of the expressions were hilarious this time.
Yes.
This was just too many Pinkie Pies.
For
a guy whose favorite character is Pinkie Pie, that just every gag, even as tiny as it was, every little gag, every little silly moment, you know, from I'm a spy in the first episode to Skate Bean Pie, to her entire episode, Too Many Pinkies. Just the animation shows that it's improving and it's getting better, and it reflects in the episodes. And I'm loving it. I'm I'm excited for what's in store for the future.
You can tell.
Oh my god!
I saw the commercial for that on the season premiere. We were like, what?
The nod for the G3 and past.
Guys, when I go into the pony room and I'm looking for stuff for history segments now, I keep going back to that episode. It's like it haunts me now. Like, oh my god, she threw Pinkie Pie. She's scary now.
Whoever wrote that, I owe you a high five. Just, oh my god.
Whoever idea that was, it was brilliant.
Yeah, sight gags that sometimes might not have been in the script. Totally props to the animation department. You guys are awesome. Because I laughed so hard this season. Like, even the episodes where maybe it wasn't my favorite thing, I laughed every single episode.
Well, that's the storyboarders. Those gags.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
Yay,
Yeah.
storyboarders.
You can tell they're having fun with it. Like it reflects so well.
Something that I found interesting, since we're talking about Pinkie Pie, is I'm not a Pinkie Pie fan by any means, but every time she popped up in this season, and this is probably going onto the side of like not really caring for the season in general, but every time she was on screen, brilliant. It was kind of nice to see that she could instantly light up a rather dull or uninteresting episode. So when she wasn't in an episode, it was kind of like, oh, where is she?
My Pinkie.
Right. Yeah. And because I don't care for Pinkie that much, Too Many Pinkie Pies impressed me, because that was nothing but Pinkie Pie, and I really enjoyed that episode. And if I had to say of all the episodes which I like most, it would be that one and the finale, because I like the season opener too. But that's about it. I couldn't say like, oh yeah, I love this episode or that episode. It's like those 3 and then the rest. The other 10 episodes, I don't know. Not that great. Wasn't really feeling it.
And for me, as one of the things that I enjoy the most of My Little Pony, is probably one of the biggest things that attracted me to it in the first place, and it still surprises the heck out of me, and it still marvels me, is the voiceover work that goes into these episodes. And again, just like the animation, they're trying new things. They you know, the directors are telling them to try new things. You know, they're telling you just let's just go all out, just go crazy with it, just have fun with it, and it shows. Between, you know, the singing, or just the expressions that they make, or just the dialogues and the jokes, the voice work is fantastic. I mean, John Delancey returned for this season, which I'm very happy about. He came back, and it's like he never left. he came back and he jumped into that character like, all right, let's go to town with Discord.
I realize it's not even him like voice acting; it's just his regular talking
It's
I
just,
know.
That's
really
how it
is.
actually sounds.
it's just the acting part of it just really shines this one. You know, there's a lot of emotions. There's the happy moments, there's the not so happy, there's the angry moments, there's the sadder moments, and they all deliver on such a high note of just amazing. I can't even put it into words. It's so good. I love it so much.
Tabitha St. Germain and Nicole Oliver for the little bit of time that they were shown, because Rarity didn't get a lot of screen time for whatever reason.
I miss
You know?
her.
Yeah.
Where she's growing on me as a character lately, and she was nothing. She was barely there.
That's why I didn't like this
Disappointed.
season. No Rarity, and she's
Oh.
my favorite.
I mean,
So.
she got all of season 2, but really we're missing.
No, she got like 2 episodes.
She got a lot of season 2. She
There's
was like
25 episodes in season 2.
still.
She should have gotten her one. Everybody gets one.
Season
one.
2 was like the rarity
Instead of like
season. That's
3
where she
Spike
grew on me.
episodes.
Yeah, like cut a Spike or Cutie Mark Crusader episode. Give Rarity something.
Yeah.
Except Apple Bloom, because
Apple Bloom.
She's
Michelle,
adorable.
Love her.
I mean,
I like the
some of
CMC.
Rarity's comments this season were really witty. Like during one of the episodes, like, "Oh, wherever did you come up with that script or that interesting script?" That was I like that. Some of her lines are witty, but I don't know. I kind of feel like it was Pinkie Pie. She just kind of popped in for some episodes, and then that was Rarity for the season.
Now, as much as we all love the animation, and we love the music, we love the voiceover, one thing that just really just kind of it pulled me back, and I think it's the weakest point of the season because it was so short is the writing. The writing really suffered this time around. They had to shift some writers around. They brought in some new people that some of the the people who are usually the writers kind of had to leave for other projects, and it shows a lot. I mean, if you guys have seen my reviews, a lot of the times I'm complaining about the writing. It's just the writing that bothers me. Some episodes feel very too fast or very long and drawn out or just not good. Do you guys have any comments on the writing for this season?
Yeah, I can agree with some of it. I mean, some of them really did feel rushed, like especially the Discord episode, and it just kind of ended.
Oh, yeah.
And there were some episodes that were like they were building up to something, and then they just ended. And then there were other episodes where it just dragged on, like it was going on forever and ever and ever.
I think in the writer's defense, sometimes they have this really awesome idea that they want to, they write it down, they've got this thing going, and then they realize, oh shoot, I only have 22 minutes to put my awesome idea into. They have to cut a lot out of their original ideas, I'd imagine, and then it turns out to be, I go here to here, I've got to fill it in with something, and then, oh, well, there's my episode. It's not nearly as amazing as what I thought in my head or I originally wrote down. So, in their defense, like, if it's their first time doing this, I don't think it is necessarily their first time doing this. I think a lot of the stories were very ambitious, and they wanted to, or some of the episodes had some really ambitious ideas that just because of the time restriction, they just couldn't do. I don't know if any of you feel that way. That's what
I
feel that way.
Because of the fact that it is a 13 episode season, they probably had a boatload of ideas and episodes and things ready to go, but then it's just like, well, we gotta pick and choose. We gotta, we can't fit it all in one season. It's
I
because
felt
it's
the
short.
shortness of the
Yeah.
season.
I mean, what we thought started just a couple months ago, and we're going, oh, it's done.
Yeah,
It was a season.
there's one. Well, if I could, there's one thing that I kind of wish they were able to expand on more, and it's that at the season premiere we saw the book floating. Like there was the book. And then we didn't see any of that during the whole season, and then I think we saw it in the finale.
Yeah, it showed
we
up
assumed that was the same
Star
book.
Swirl, the bearded magic book.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I really loved about season 1 was how they kind of had a couple episodes here and there that tied the whole season together. Like they had the ticket episode, and then a couple episodes down the line they were making the dresses for it, and eventually it led up to the gala. And that's one of the things I really loved about season 1, and I was kind of hoping for season 3 for them to do that. Like I saw the book and I was like, hey, here's a potential for them to make this overarching story. Nope.
Nope. Well, then again, going back to the restrictions thing. I mean, the way I see it, I think with season 1 they were like, okay, let's make My Little Pony like a show. Let's like make it. Then like halfway through season 2 or maybe like right before it, they're like, okay, cool, we got bronies. And then here we come like season 3, and they're like, oh my god. we have to, kind of like appeal to like all these audiences. Like, what are we gonna do? So then they come up with all these great ideas, all these stories, all these like interlocking things, and then it just kind of becomes, okay, what can't we do? Take this out, take that out, and then by the time they're just kind of done, they're just kind of like, ooh. I would kind of like to
It's a
put that in
bummer.
there. Yeah. I personally feel like they wanted to go like further and go above and beyond, but maybe like they weren't like given like the opportunity, or they didn't have like enough time or something. But maybe that is the reason why.
Well, I think a lot of people don't realize that with productions, that certain productions, and if My Little Pony is the same, they have to hire freelance writers for a certain amount of their shows.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very possible that, and I don't know what the percentage is, but it's possible that they had 13 episodes and they had to fill up 3, 4, 5 episodes with freelance writers per whatever the rules and regulations are for production. And so maybe that's where it suffered a bit, because a lot of the episodes are pretty unremarkable. Like, I couldn't sit. What am I thinking of right now? The episode with Scootaloo where she's afraid and Luna pops in.
I didn't enjoy it.
That was kind of random.
Not at all.
And it's got rarity in it, so that's why I'm remembering it probably. But I'm trying to think of like other episodes, and I'm kind of like grasping at straws.
I like that episode.
It's
Was
another
not-
one of Rainbow Dash being an utter jerk.
I kind of felt like that was like Scootaloo, like getting like the backstory on Scootaloo, giving Scootaloo her episode.
It was nice to give her an episode.
It really was, and then like I kind of felt like Luna was the bonus. Like, oh sweet, we get a Scootaloo episode. Oh my god, we got Luna thrown in there too. I thought it was a cool episode.
Except we learned nothing about either of those characters.
It's true.
We don't know anything about Scootaloo's
Who cares?
whole
More
life. We don't
Scootaloo,
know
more Luna.
anything about Luna's backstory either. So I was.
We learned that she watches over the dreams, so not necessarily backstory, but
true.
kind of what she's doing now.
That's a very
I'll give you. We knew one
They
thing.
kind of pulled that one
To
out of
touch
the
on characters, and I don't know how you guys will react to this one, but I know how I feel about it. One of the characters that was introduced this season that I just completely, either I wish I never knew about
Oh, God.
and was not exposed to it,
Oh, dear.
and that's Babs.
Yes, I was gonna bring that up.
Of all the characters, it was fun to introduce a new obstacle for the cutie Marcusators other than themselves. But this character was just, oh my goodness.
Babs is pretty bad.
No.
Her accent
One
was
bad
bad.
scene.
That's still,
You should be
no.
kicked off.
Her hair is bad. Her accent is bad.
Yeah, the accent is one thing that Cecil will go on about forever. Like, she hates the accent.
I still can't hate Babs. I'm sorry.
It's like she's a New Yorkan with like a Boston accent mixed with.
Some Philly mixed in.
I don't even know. It's just, it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
And I get that she was bullied, but I don't get the whole, well, I've been bullied, so I'm gonna bully someone else. Like, usually people that are bullied, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if I get picked on, I don't want to pick on other people.
True, but that is like the case with a lot of bullies. They were picked on, and then they were taken out of that environment, and then in the new environment, they are afraid of getting picked on again, so they become the bully. That is kind of sometimes bullying
Fair enough.
101.
You see that situation happen.
But I still think it's an awful character development.
Terrible character.
She showed up again to kind of.
There is only so much you can do in 22 minutes.
We saw her
people.
twice.
And we saw her twice. Yeah, but in the reunion, why?
Now, to be fair on my part, I was hoping, hey, you know what? She's coming back. Maybe something changes for the better, and then just no.
At least she was nicer. Sure.
I liked the continuity, and the continuity is something over this whole season we could go over. But yeah, as far as just bringing Babs back,
Well, if they didn't bring Babs back, you guys would just be like, oh, where was Babs
That's
in
true.
that one episode?
Not me.
I don't know that I would have missed her.
it would have been the Apple
You guys
family
would pick
reunion
that
without
apart.
the-
Shut up.
I was quite happy with the fact that they returned a character that we all love, Discord, and then and instead of oh, let's introduce this new little filly, and I didn't care for her. She could have not been in the season, and my life would still be good.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that. I'm just saying, still
brought
Babs, still Applewood's cousin, but like she's got a weird accent. So
on the topic of Discord, villain reformation. this season.
Oh, that's a terrible thing too.
I don't know. I liked it. I liked Trixie's episode. I mean, this kind of goes back to the writing. Like a lot of those episodes where you couldn't predict exactly what was going to happen. Those were the good ones. Like all the CMC episodes, you kind of knew exactly how they were going to play out. Even the games ponies play.
And that was my biggest gripe, was the fact that it was like predictable, beyond crazy. I mean, some elements in writing, some concepts are predictable. You know what's going to happen, but it's funny how they incorporate it because it's talking ponies. But with this one, it's just kind of like the games ponies play out. And I said it then in my review, and I'll say it now. 8 minutes into the episode, you could stop watching and still know what happens.
Yeah.
Well, are you saying that the Trixie episode was not predictable?
Well,
I kind of thought it was.
I mean, the overall scheme was predictable, but the details on how they were
The
going
ending was not predictable.
Like, you didn't know how they were going to do it. You obviously knew they were going to do it, but not how.
Yeah, I did like how it was like, you see Twilight training, and someone else mentioned this, training, and then Zecora was just like, trick her. You know, that I did not expect, which was nice, but
That was kind of like
Brenda sold that episode for me.
Yeah, that is
Wait, how many Zecora episodes did we have this season?
She was showcased in a few.
Was she?
Oh wait, no.
She was shown at least in a couple
The
of
one with Spike, where he had all the gems,
Oh, that's right.
and she takes one and gives it to the,
Yep. For
the
Karma.
Philly Scouts or whatever. I don't even know.
That's
what they
awesome.
are.
I love that.
Yeah, Girl Scout cookies.
Dude, that needs to be introduced. Pinkie Pie needs to become like addicted to Philly
The
Scout.
Philly Scout.
Oh, no! Better! Idea for season 4. Pinkie Pie needs to become a den mother.
Oh my god. That would be great.
That would, writers, if you're watching.
Get on that now.
Bye. Oh,
Dude,
God.
I don't think they're allowed to use that.
No!
Well,
We didn't mean it. We didn't mean it. We were just joking.
We were joking. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's your
This was
idea.
definitely a season of like, you know, reforming, because look at Celestia in the finale of last year. She like got her butt kicked and she was just incapable of doing the one job she's given.
You're like, Poncho!
Yeah,
You
and
did it
then,
for how many thousand years?
And-
And you just died.
and then totally redeemed in this last episode with a great song that I've been waiting for a long time. And
Tearjerker.
oh yeah, so good.
It was beautiful.
It's a great
It was
scene.
just beautiful.
That's why I brought tears to my eyes. Speaking of songs, not just songs in general, I have to give props to all the background music that went on too.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, like in the season finale especially, I just noticed like the intensity of the music when the scene was intense, the music was intense. It's just, who's the back? I don't.
William Anderson.
Is it William Anderson? Is that
William Anderson?
Yes, Stephen Andrews does stuff too.
Well, whoever wrote most of the music for the season or all of the music for the season, I really pick up on that a lot. And I really try taking all the music out, you guys. It just would not be the same. It'd just be bland. It'd be boring.
I'd be sad there'd be no theme song.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, that's true.
I get what you're saying.
But like, just all the settings, everything, the moods would be completely gone. The emotions just gone. Just so like we keep praising Daniel Ingram, and he deserves it. But give props to all the background music writers too. This is just phenomenal music being written there. I wish they could hire a full orchestra. It's like I said, hire, which is money, and that's a lot of money to hire a full orchestra. It'd be cool to have a season where they had some, or maybe one episode or something, where they had a full orchestra play.
That'd be bananas.
Instead of just the computer generated stuff, which is great still, but full orchestras, man.
You need flugelhorns.
Flugelhorns. There you go.
And Pinkie Pie can't be given.
Sure, why not?
No, she'll be given all of them.
Yes.
She play it one time.
All of them
With
at
her
once.
tuba and her drum and her accordion and her cymbals and what else did she play in that episode?
Everything.
Yeah.
Harmonica.
That's no magic. That's just Pinkie Pie playing all those instruments
With
at
her
once.
arm and her arm and her arm. See, now I'm talking about season 2.
Which is season 2.
Oh.
Anyways.
Oh, that is season 2 now.
Yeah, that's cool.
One thing that was missing from this season was the letters to Celestia at the end.
Oh my god, you're right!
For the
Was
last
that
two.
Eddie?
No. I remember for the last 2 seasons, it's just kind of like tied every episode. It's just tied a knot at the end of every episode. Like, it
She's
was a good
saved to
ending.
Wait, doesn't
Empire.
Spike write her a letter?
I don't know. Maybe.
In which episode?
It's so unremarkable.
In those episodes, there's. I mean, I don't even remember.
When he's helping Applejack.
In the Applejack episode.
Doesn't he?
Right? Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's
Because
one.
isn't Spike still learning? But hey, Twilight saved an empire, and you know,
Well, yeah, she doesn't have to write any
King
more letters,
Sombrero.
right?
Yeah, so therefore,
Yeah, she's Princess-
Sombrero.
you beat King Sombrero, therefore no more letters. Spike, you still write letters.
Except Spike, the one who got the heart gem thingy in the first place.
Because of
Like,
Twilight's sacrifice.
Oh, soul. The crystal heart, there it is. Yeah, but well, he technically saves the day. Yet he has to write letters still.
But he's the R2D2, right? So he saves the day but never gets the recognition.
That's right, yeah.
Exactly.
Now I'm sad
Stop
for
that
R2.
way.
Now I'm really sad for R2. R2, best pony.
And okay, but going back
So
to
did you get
season
on
1, he
top of
plays the R2D2 character in their little Star Wars reenactment. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You guys are so blunt. That happened.
Gotta go back and watch them now. I was like, wait, where?
You can expect a future review on My Little Pony Star Wars.
I like playing Star Wars.
You guys are all on the couch with me, Karen, like, see?
Yeah.
I told you.
Oh, man.
Now, do we have any final thoughts and comments?
I got one. What do you compare? You know, the actual season 3 to your expectations of season 3. Did it need it? Did it not? You know, get up to par, or did it
episodes did.
precede it?
Certain episodes.
What about as a
The
whole?
season as a whole, no. Like, there are 3 really good episodes, I thought, and then a couple that I hate. Actually, not hate, that's a strong word for me, but a couple I really didn't like, and then everything else just kind of fell in the middle. It's just meh. Like, there were, again, 3 episodes I really liked, and everything else was just leagues below.
I didn't have a whole lot of expectations, so I can't say that it met them. I just sort of looked at it with an open mind, so I'm good.
As a My Little Pony fan and not a Brony, I'm okay with the season as a whole. I guess as a Brony, it's a little disappointing, some of the things that went on. You know, if you're a fan of Derpy, and if you're a fan of
Derpy
Wildfire,
I
and
love
if you're a
Derpy.
fan of a lot of other things, it just didn't happen, but...
Well, okay, so I kind of went into season 3 having high hopes, and I think, well, I don't know if a lot of people like the season opener. I actually liked the season opener. It was really nice. The songs were really cool. And then into the season, it kind of died down a little bit. And I think the season finale redeemed the season for me. With a good opener and a good closer and some decent episodes in the middle. Overall, I thought it was a good season. It actually met my expectations pretty well. So
Yeah, for me personally, it was just like, oh my god, the season's astronomical. Like, you know, I had crazy expectations.
Astronomical.
It really was. Like, I mean, if you hung out with me, I was just kind of like, oh, I bet you guys are gonna do this. It's gonna be awesome. And like, granted, not a lot of that did not happen, but at the same time, it definitely met my expectations. I was not disappointed with season 3 at all. Like, I thought it was great. So.
We always say season 4.
Oh, everyone looks at me now. Well, people are starting to get to know me as a guy who's always got something to complain about. My expectations for season 3, as she mentioned, it's not that they weren't met, it's just they were met, but with disappointment. I feel that the biggest letdown of the season was the writing. It just really sucked for me because I enjoy a good story. And a good story, you need good writing. And if you don't have that, all you're really left with is a bunch of colorful stuff on a screen. I just couldn't, the animation was great and all these other things were good. They were very good for the season. The writing kind of held a lot of that back because it's hard to appreciate it when it's hard to appreciate the music and the animation, all this cool stuff going around, if the story is not good. It's really hard for me to say, oh yeah, it was great, every episode was awesome, but it really wasn't. I mean, as most of you have already said, there's a handful of episodes that were really enjoyable because they had all those things that we loved from season 1 and season 2. And a lot of these, there isn't a lot of, I honestly could not remember every episode today. I had to look it up. I don't have to do that for season 2. I don't have to do that for season 1. Because a lot of those episodes really brought something to the table that I really liked or enjoyed. As I've been saying to these guys a lot, this season for me has been a series of enjoyable moments. Small things, whether it was a joke or a gag or a line, those are the things that I really appreciated. The episodes as a whole in their entirety, not so much. The season finale was great. I loved the music. I loved everything. You guys have already heard in my episode review. I don't think it saved this. It brought it up so it just kind of raises, right? It got like the C-. It was still good, but there was a lot that they could have done. And I understand that it's probably a time frame issue. You know, when you have 13 episodes compared to 26, there's a lot that you can't do, and there's a lot that you can do. And they tried to do, you know, they worked with what they had. At this point, I'm past that. I didn't enjoy season 3 as much as I thought I would. Still a good season. I don't think it holds anything close to season 1 or 2. And that's why I'm excited. You know, I'm not so much kind of disappointed in terms of, that there's no more pony, but I'm excited for what season 4 has to offer. You know, I'm thinking, okay, well, season 3 didn't leave a terrible taste in my mouth. But season 4 is going to taste like filet mignon, I'm hoping. I have high hopes. I have high hopes.
Astronomical hopes.
It's going to be astronomical. I have very high hopes for season 4. Season 3, I watched it. Some episodes I had a blast. Other episodes I could have forgotten. Any other comments? Any other thoughts?
I think we're good.
Yeah. Well, we want to hear what you guys have to say. Be sure to leave us a comment below. We want to hear your thoughts, any criticisms on the episodes, on the season as a whole. We'd love to hear from you. This is the Brony Clubhouse, and we'll see you guys next season.
Hey guys, I'm here with Karen, co-chair of Equestria LA. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Great. So what's going on with EQLA this year?
Oh, well, you know, just a lot of the same stuff. Bigger and better, though, than last year, you know.
Yeah, I heard there were 2 dances this year.
Yeah, we're going to have an acoustic set for Friday, and then we're going to have DJs on Saturday.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
When did registration open?
It actually opened up back in December. And it's still open, so, you know, if you want a ticket, go ahead.
What's the ticket price right now?
$55 for the whole weekend. We'll be selling single badges at the door and children with parent in tow at the door as well.
I understand there's been a lot of questions. How does the parent in tow work?
Well, basically, if you're bringing a kid in, you pay for the kid, and then the parent gets in for free.
Cool. And this is going to be at the Anaheim Marriott, not the convention center.
Correct. It's still in the same cul-de-sac, but we're now over at Marriott. Which, it's a nicer venue, it's a little bit bigger, it gives us more flexibility. I think the attendees will like it.
Okay, and is there a special rate for, you know, guests staying at the hotel for the convention?
We do have a special rate for guests staying at the hotel. I believe it's $115 a night, and that extends to 3 days prior to the con and 3 days after the con. So anyone who wants to enjoy Disneyland that maybe is from out of town, they can do that.
So how is Equestria LA going to be different this year than it was back in November?
Well, besides the venue, we're definitely going to have more people that we can bring in. So we're looking at a cap of around maybe 2,000, 1,900 people. And we're going to try and bring more guests in. We're going to try and have multi-track programming. So not just one panel room, but 2. And then obviously the 2 dances. And a silent auction as opposed to a live auction. So items will be bid on, and whatever's really popular will go up to stage for live bidding.
Okay, and I heard that you are no longer going to be focusing 100% on My Little Pony, but you're going to be expanding to just Western animation in general.
Definitely for 2014, 100%. I'm trying to get a panel in for this year. No promises, bronies, of, you know, some other shows with maybe a voice actor or 2 or a writer or 2, just to kind of give them a taste of maybe what 2014 is going to be like.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Thank you again for joining us, guys. We hope you really enjoyed today's episode. Now, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook.
We also do gaming live streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Be sure to follow us on our Twitch TV account.
This is the Brony Clubhouse, and we'll see you guys next time.